Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Optimize Evany. I wanted to do a discussion a little bit about Chalons today. I actually had recorded our battle last night, but unfortunately the audio was kind of messed up, so I don't really want to put it out there. It's not going to be as interesting for you guys if you're not going to be able to hear kind of what was going on. Basically, the alliance call was really soft, so all you can hear is basically me talking to myself. So I'll look at trying to fix that for next time, but um, yeah, I just wanted to. I'll show you a little bit of kind of what happened um, last night in kind of towards the end of the video. I will play some of the video and I'll kind of talk over, explain what's going on. So if you're interested in that, I will be doing that at the end. But before that, I just wanted to kind of talk about what challenge is, kind of what the rewards are, and why you want to play challenge. Because challenge is one of the better battlefield types. Basically, what it does is it pits four alliances against each other, and uh, each alliance can have 25 people sign up, which is nice. That's increased from 20 in a normal battlefield, and then basically it's similar to kind of what All Stars is, except for there's bosses and stuff on the map. But basically, you're trying to place well because your let's go to the round rewards. You basically get similar to other battlefields. You get rewards based on kind of what place you get in and then how many personal points you score. So uh, the last place, you're not getting nearly as many rewards as you are in the first place. And let's look at what some of these rewards actually are because these are actually really good for challenge. So you get the normal kind of badges and then chests for gem, resource, speed up, gold, runestone chest, dragon source fragment, tactic scrolls. Look at how many tactic scrolls. 530 tactic scrolls. That's awesome. That's so cool. Especially for people who need tactic scrolls, such as myself. Unfortunately, we didn't take first place. We actually got third place. I was really hoping that we would get second place, but the basically the top two alliances, the people that ended up getting first and second, their alliances were really good. They were really coordinated, and we unfortunately kind of got killed off a little bit earlier, so we weren't able to score quite as many points and be competitive. So, I mean, just look at the difference in the number of things from first to third. You're getting a lot less of all the important stuff. But yeah, let's the kind of the maybe the more interesting part about this is that they're giving out blazons as rewards. I know everyone needs blazons because you have to. I'm going to do a more in-depth video on blazons and exactly how you want to set yourself up, or my opinion on how you want to set up. There's different presets and stuff like that, but basically to there's a lot of randomness in blazons, and so you just need a lot of these chests to make sure that you get kind of the right ones, and then you can start leveling them up and stuff like that. So anytime you can get blazons, I mean you're limited to six blazon chests on 2 days a week, so 12 blazon chests a week. They did actually add them to some of the other rewards, so that's kind of cool. But they're also here and 28. So I mean that's a couple weeks worth of blazon chests all at once in one battle. And then the ruby necklaces. So these ruby necklaces, if you're not familiar with what they do, they basically are are related to the Helen event or the champion events. And so you can use these ruby necklaces to increase your level here. Um, so yeah, those are typically before this were only going to be or were only possible to get via buying. So this is a nice way for people who place well to jumpstart kind of their Helen. Um, there's probably going to release more champions after that, and if Helen's anything uh, to bet on, your those buffs are gonna be pretty massive, when you get there. So even if you've already maxed out Helen, I mean, awesome job because it takes quite a bit. But even if you I mean, these ruby necklaces will be important later on. So that's kind of cool that they have those here. So those were the personal rewards for each round, but kind of the more important rewards are are the total rewards. So first of all, what what your alliance is probably playing challenge for if you're in the major league. Uh, there's multiple different leagues, so only the top 256 alliances based on last season's BOC rankings in your continent will be placed into the major league, and those are the ones that are competing for basically the rewards that I'm going to show now. The other ones will have different rewards. They basically won't have like the subsidy and the castle to fight for. Otherwise, there would be no reason for people to, kind of go into the major league. But the castle is really cool. My Alliance has the previous version of this, which basically just gives you additional uh, additional spaces around it, and stuff like that. Not really any buffs here, but this castle gives you Alliance construction speed of 5%, ground troop defense 10%, and food gathering 10%. So that's really good for the ground troop defense because anytime you can get buffs for free, uh, that's definitely take them. So that's 10% ground troop defense that my alliance doesn't have. So we're kind of hoping to get into the top 100. Like I said, the first battle was not really very good for us, but hopefully we'll kind of pick it up and be able to place in that top 100 so that we can get that castle. And then uh, let's look at kind of the main rewards. So again, there's three different leagues: junior, elite, and major. And so really what you're playing for in in Major League is, like I said, the castle, but beyond that, if you're one of the top alliances, if you're one of the top, let's say like 10, 20 alliances, what you're really trying to get is you're trying to get into finals where you can unlock the Hungary uh, historic subsidy. So, and that's basically the top 15 in personal scores for the first place team, the top 8 in personal scores for places 2 to 4. And yeah, so basically what that's going to give you, let's take a look at the buffs, is 25% range troop attack, 20% mount troop HP. That's actually pretty nice for your defense there. Construction speed 15%. That's awesome. If you haven't kind of gotten to K40, if you haven't unlocked all of your buildings and stuff like that, which most people haven't, that's going to be huge there. And death into survival, 20%. So again, this is a historic city, and this is basically one of the only ways that you can get a historic city for free. And I mean, some of the buffs are maybe not quite as good as some of the ones that they're releasing now for the coin super heavy coiner events where you know like 2 or 3 or 5 people will get a historic sub every event, but you have to spend an absurd amount, probably like $10,000 or something like that. I don't know. I've never gone for it because I'm not willing to spend that much. But for people who do, great for you. But yeah, these ones are available for free as long as you're in a really good alliance and your alliance places in the finals. Um, so yeah, basically there's 4 rounds of preliminaries where uh, this week and then the next 3 weeks you're basically just fighting to make sure to try and see if you're going to be in the top 16 teams I believe advance, and then out of those 16 teams then there'll be another 4 battlefields, which will ultimately determine the finals, which are the last 4 teams, and then based on that, based on who's actually going to be in those in be in that winner, and then based on your scores within that team, if you have again we can look at the rewards here. If you're in the top 15 in personal scores on the first place team, so 15 players in that alliance that we're playing, the top 15 scores are going to get that subsidy. So that's a huge reward. So people are fighting pretty aggressively for this. So yeah, not really my alliance. We're just looking for kind of the basic stuff there. But let's take a quick look at after round one who's kind of leading, and these are going to vary wildly because it really depends on your matchup. Some people have really good matchups, some people really have bad matchups. But yeah, kind of the main thing is you have an honor score, and then you have a total, like, how many points did you score in the battlefield. So it's ranked by honor and then scores. So people who have higher honor will rank ahead of people who have better, like, battlefield score. So you get 5 points for getting first place. Obviously, all the top people have 5 points because that's going to be essentially what obviously roughly a quarter of, or exactly a quarter of the alliances will have gotten first place. So that's kind of what you'll see here. It goes basically um, all the way to 64th place, and that score, that lowest, winning score was 65,000. So not very high there, but they did end up winning. So uh, good on them. But let's look at kind of who's currently in the top rankings. We have Apex Predators from 226, uh, 808 from 259, Cutthroat 145, uh, ATK or AKT 195, and Nefarious. I'm not going to read all of them, but some of these are a little bit different than what I would have expected. But we'll kind of see who, after different rounds and different pairings and stuff like that, who actually gets or is able to work their way to the top. And it should be actually um, pretty good finals, semifinals. I am planning to stream that, so if you're looking to watch those, please do subscribe to my channel. Put the link in the description of the video, and I'm really trying to push some subscribers right now, so please do subscribe. But yeah, let's kind of get into. Um, I'll play the kind of the video of um, of what we were doing last night. This is a little bit into it, so it's maybe not going to be the most interesting, but I'll explain a little bit about what happened. We basically uh, we actually had a pretty decent showing going into the night, um, but unfortunately, some of our people got really just slammed right away. And so, because of that, we lost our rally power really quickly. We also kept rallying. We probably did this a little bit wrong. We rallied what ended up being the second place team, kind of the third biggest alliance there. And because of that, they kept getting just a ton of points. And in fact, they're not a huge alliance. They're only like a 70 billion alliance, but uh, they were able to, do very well. So uh, you can see right here. Let me just pause this. Go. My alliance mate just got rallied. That one hurt quite a bit. That was a 3.3 billion, even with rains. And actually, most of my rains were killed there. So yeah, it's not looking super great. The this VVV alliance, mad props to them. They did amazing. That was that second place alliance that we kind of targeted at the beginning because they had some smaller players. Um, and we weren't really able to land too much on them. Everyone was porting pretty aggressively, so uh, basically what it came down to was my alliance was maybe the worst porting of the top three alliances, and because of that, we diminished our rally power pretty quickly, and so uh, ultimately it kind of got down to the point where uh, myself and a couple of the other and maybe one or two other bigger people that hadn't gotten rallied yet uh we're trying to solo. I did try and keep setting rallies, but then we really just didn't have quite enough people uh, to really do much, and so it ended up being soloing. We got some like one or two shot clears, but ultimately then people were just too big. The main alliance or the top alliance, the one uh, the first place, they had they had people that were maybe like 20 billion, 15 billion, 13 billion. And so even later in the battlefield, they were still much too big to solo. So there wasn't too much that we could do. Uh, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, we maybe could have done better if we had kind of coordinated some rains and stuff like that. But our plan was to port and to try and rally and be quick about it. We did actually fill a bunch of rallies pretty quickly and stuff like that, but uh, they were really quick at porting. So uh, I mean, again, especially VVV, they were really really good at boarding, and that was the main reason why they won. So or why they didn't win. They beat us. They were in second place. But you can see even kind of at this beginning stage, we were already falling behind. VVV actually had the lead at this point, but then finally, kind of at the end, some of their bigger players got taken out. You can see my alliance mate tried to solo, and people they were even porting from solos. Like it was just wild. Yeah, I've never seen people port so much. But that is one thing with Chalons is that you actually can port a little bit more because there are more portals that you can kind of keep control of. So as long as your alliance members are able to keep at least a few portals, uh, you'll be fine. And the other thing with Challenge, similar to All Stars, is that the uh, the portals do regenerate at a certain interval. I don't remember exactly what that is. I don't know if it's like every half hour or every hour, but they do. You're not going to get stuck with zero teleports for the whole thing. It will eventually regenerate some. Um, but yeah, I also was pretty impressed by people's ability to ghost. There were people who were, well over a billion power, 2 billion power that basically were able to ghost everything. So it is kind of crazy that people are able to ghost so much these days. And the other thing that kind of happened a decent amount is some of these people had a decent amount of T1. They were kind of built as T1 traps, and so even those people, even though they weren't really big, they were still able they were still not really soloable. So we would need to throw a rally at them to basically do any good. And like I said, we were pretty toast on rallies. Yeah, again, porting away from a solo there. Um, but yeah, let me know if you like this content. I'll try and, like I said, fix my audio so that I can actually either live stream or tape the video of it while next time that we play. And I won't be kind of around for BOC because I have a bunch of Halloween stuff going on. But for next week, Chalons, I might try and record this again and see if we can kind of start getting into more PvP focused stuff. Even though my alliance isn't the best, we're still increasing our buffs. We're still really trying to uh, increase kind of the power and the knowledge of the people that are playing, that the people that show up, so that we can have a fast alliance. We can do these quick rallies. We can be effective. We can do all these things. Uh, but right now we're not quite there, so we do a lot of times lose. And so you know but it is still useful, I think, to watch what happens, and see maybe what you should do, what you shouldn't do. I can talk about kind of what I'm what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to get the team to do a little bit better. We don't actually have a lot of heavy coiners, which is one of, right now at least, one of the drawbacks, but we do have a couple. So yeah, uh, definitely try and give some more of that kind of content to you guys going forward. But yeah, hopefully this isn't too boring to watch. The um, the kind of recording of this. Not super interesting. By this time we actually did rally a couple times. We landed some rallies before this. We landed some rallies after this, but there was, at this point, we had already maybe like five, six, seven, eight of our people. Our main rally joiners were already dead, and people weren't really trying um, to heal marches. I That is one thing that has kind of changed with the ability to heal presets. That was actually what VVV, that alliance, was actually doing quite aggressively. Is they were actually just basically healing their marches. They were not really at any high power at all. They were basically zeroed, but they were healing enough marches to fill rallies so that they could keep attacking. Yeah, so you see, even at this point, VVV has an edge on MAD, which is the alliance that ended up winning. Uh, Ultimately, like I said, they kind of got out trooped. They did kind of succumb to MAD, but they did an amazing job. Um, and yeah, so that's pretty much all that I had for you. Um, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. And as always, please remember to like and subscribe.